And Nathan Gorman, thank you very much for joining us. Out here in Crewe, is this where you're based these days?
Yeah, well, kinda. I'm about 6 mile away from here, Nantwich. Nantwich have been born and bred. So this is my hometown, round here.
I'll let you give us the tour a little bit later on. How was your Christmas and New Year? All good?
Quiet, yeah, very good, thank God. Quiet. My wife had COVID over the Christmas period, so we couldn't do much for the 7 days, but it's everywhere now at the minute, isn't it? But it was very quiet. It was good to have some downtime with me, wife and children, just binge watching, eating, and doing the usual stuff. It was really good.
What series do you have on over when you're on family time? What's the series that's on?
We was watching mainly Christmas films. The series is just starting back up now, where we're into Witcher at the minute.
Yeah, okay.
But it was mainly Christmas film. Like, I probably watched Home Alone 30 times.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
My outrageous shout is Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone 1.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, definitely.
It's good. Let's talk boxing. It's 2022. Start with the obvious. What do you want to do this year? What do you want to achieve?
A lot of things, really. Look to get out, early this year, March time. First and foremost, get a win. That's first and foremost. And from there, we're looking at, good fights after that. Summertime, some domestic fights, international fights. I'm expecting a big year for myself. Well, I know it's going to be a big year, and just get the ball rolling. Being active is the main key.
I was looking around the domestic list. Who's near you on that list, and how you feel about some of those names, and some of the names that have maybe caught the attention of the public in the last 12 months. So, and if you look at the likes of Johnny Fisher, for example, doing well, good following.
Yeah.
What do you think about fights like that?
Yeah, I think the Johnny Fisher fight. I think obviously was he 5-6-0 something like that, or maybe more. He still has a lot of developing to do. I'm a 19 fight season man. So I reckon next year or something like that, if he keeps on winning, progressing. Ideally, myself, I want to box someone what's a bit more advanced than Johnny Fisher or David Adeleye. There's another one, David Adeleye. I know he keeps calling me out, but let's be honest, he's never achieved nothing. He lost to Kamil Solowski, in my opinion. He should go rematch him before he starts calling me out. I want to look for bigger and better fights. There's a lot more bigger and better fights for me, domestically and internationally, really, before I even entertain them type.
Names that are a bit closer to you in the list that, again, fans will know and they'll recognise the name. Names like Fabio Wardley, I know you've had that name come up. Even Dave Allen, what do you think of names like that?
They're the fights I want to be involved in. I'd imagine for the British title, probably me and Fabio Wardley are the most convenient opponents out there. There isn't really a better fight for the British title than me and Fabio Wardley. Obviously, Fabio's English champion, unbeaten. I previously boxed for a British title, coming off a two fight win streak, so it kind of makes sense. Dave Allen's doing his own thing, he's getting back into boxing, so I'd imagine where he'll be in the next 2 to 3 months, subject to him winning obviously, he'll be back in the mix of the British title league, and these are all big fights, but I'd imagine the front runner for the British title fight would be me and Fabio.
How does that fight play out? How does that go? Nathan Gorman versus Fabio Wardley. Fabio's known for.
Yeah, I win.
Is that all it is? Is
of course not.
Is it the kind of fight that you see going 12 rounds? Is where I'm going with that kind of question.
I've sparred him in the past. I highly doubt it would go 12 rounds. We had a couple of tasty spars. He was in the Dubois camp when I was obviously training for Daniel. He was up there maybe 2-3 weeks. Could have been a bit longer, I can't really remember. And we had a lot of spars. We only done 4 rounds, so we couldn't really gauge much out of it because I had like 3 or 4 different sparring partners and they was all jumping in at different times. So I couldn't gauge that much out of it, but I got a lot out of it, and it'll be a really good, entertaining fight because Fabio's the type of fighter he looks for. He's quite athletic, looks for big punches, so it'd make for a good fight.
What did you think of his fight against Nick Webb last time on?
I thought he'd done well. He was under the pressure. Nick Webb come out looking to take him out in the first round. To be fair, he nearly done so. He caught Fabio some big punches, but he rid the storm and he come back and he really done a number on Nick, didn't he?
Yeah. You said international fights at the top there. Mm-hmm. What names do you see from overseas? I mean, again, there's names that fans will know, like Alan Babbage is one. What do you think of that?
You just hit the nail on the head. That's another good fight, Alan Babbage. A lot of people are giving him some hype around. Obviously he's with DAZN and stuff. He 10-0, 10 knockouts.
Yeah.
he's very how can I put it? He's a character, so that would make for a good fight. But I think I know it's not about the size or anything, but I think he's a bit on the small size. What is he, 14 stone or something like that?
In his defence, you see his Mark Bennett, much bigger than him.
Yeah, true. But on the other hand,
you're not Mark Bennett.
Exactly.
So I guess then with these bigger names being spoke around your name, where does that put you? Is that what you want next? Do you think you maybe need to fight someone else just to get back in the groove first?
Yeah, well, obviously, when I fight, it'll be 12 months out the ring, so I'll have a fight. Be someone decent, a good test for myself. I'll have a fight then. From that, we can gauge see where we're at, then go on for, Fabio Wardley or a good international name, whatever really the promotional team or management team suggests is the best move is what we'll go for.
What are your thoughts on the heavyweight scene at the moment? I want to talk about the top table in just a moment, but in particular within your own camp, within Wasserman, there's the big names who are at the top of the list, if you like, names like Filip Ergovic, but then further down there's the new prospects coming through, Matty Harris, Jose Stewart. Within your camp at Wasserman at the moment, it's a good time to be a heavyweight.
Definitely.
Be interested to hear your thoughts on it.
100%. You got Filip Ergovic, number 1 heavyweight in the IBF world rankings, struggling to get a fight. No one wants to fight him. Keep reading on the internet and social media. I think they've had 2 or 3 lucrative offers, from world round fighters, and they've both turned them down.
Yeah.
So I can see why he's the type of man who wants him category, really, Filip Ergovic. I know, granted, you win, you're in line for a world title, but it's a big ask. He's a very good prospect in my opinion. Matty Harris, Jose Stewart, sparred Matty a fair few times. Again, he's only a 1 fight novice. Got a lot of experience behind him in sparring, but needs more experience, obviously through fights, etc. Will be good in time. Just needs building and progression, same as Jose.
Yeah.
A lot of people are writing him off, because he's a big lad, 25, 26 stone, but he's one of them. You need to build him for the future. It's going to take a lot of time. They're only young as well. What's Jose? 23, 24-year-olds, not very old at all.
Exactly. Yeah,
so they can only do. They're doing what's asked of them. They've got the debut out the way, which is the main thing. They've got the ball rolling now.
Moving towards the top table, but from the Wasserman camp. I mean, you mentioned a couple of fighters have been offered the Filip Ergovic fight and they've not come off. Did you watch Charles Martin, Luis Ortiz on New Year's Day?
I did.
What did you think of it?
Truthfully, Luis Ortiz done well considering he's about 50 or however old he is. It was a really good shot, but I did think he looked older now against Charles Martin as well. You can see the age is getting on. It's grandpa time, isn't it? It happens.
Yeah.
And I think it's catching up with him.
Maybe I'm speaking a bit too soon. How do you see yourself with someone like? How would you deal with a Luis Ortiz or a Charles Martin if that was you in that position?
Truthfully, Luis Ortiz, obviously he's getting older, isn't he? So the longer he's out the ring, the more better your chances are going to be. Because old will bend before young every time. History proves itself time and time again. The young take over the old, and that's the same with everything. So the younger fresher man beats the older man. It happens.
Yeah, and then top end of the table, Tyson's, Usyk's, AJ's, Dillian White's. There's been a lot of conversation about these guys because of what's been happening on the scene. It's very active up there at the moment. What's your take on it all? I know you're a big fan of Tyson.
I think Tyson beats them all. We were just having a discussion about 20 minutes ago. Everyone was on about Usyk. I think you can't beat a 19 stone, 6'9" switch hitter. You don't know if he's going to come forward, go backwards, go sideways. The way he is, he's so unpredictable. Don't get me wrong, Usyk is unbelievably gifted, which he is. You've seen what he's done with Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua's Olympic gold medalist. People forget this. You win Olympic gold medals because you're a good boxer.
Yeah.
So, my opinion, I think he beats them all. Obviously, he's got the Dillian White fight happening or meant to be coming up, but it's meant to be an arbitration or something, but due to the split purse, 80%, 20%. But you got to look at it this way from Tyson's point of view. Tyson's fought Deontay Wilder 3 times on the bounce. Dillian White had the chance to fight Deontay Wilder, rejected it. So Tyson come back from a 10 stone weight loss, went in there in his back garden 3 times, fought him and beat him. Granted, I know the first one was a draw, but beat him. So you could argue the fact he deserves the 80%, at least 75% split purse because he's done all the hard work. If
Yeah.
Dillian White wanted to, he could have gone over there and fought him, but he didn't. So
Yeah.
you can't really have a 50-50 when someone else done all the hard work for you.
Let's bring this back round to you. How long till you can be in that mix? I assume that's where you want to be in your
definitely.
career. You want to be spoken at that top
100%.
table. How do you get there, and how far away?
Ideally, 12 to 18 months. I want to be in the top 5 at least world rankings. But this year's going to be my crucial year.
Yeah.
100%.
And the British is the route to that goal, I guess.
Yes and no. Obviously, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll go another international route. Like I said, if fights do happen, we're open arms, not a problem domestically.
So what's the plan for you in the immediate? Back into training,
Back in
keeping
training.
ready,
Well, I've got
staying by
training
the
now.
phone?
Yeah, I've got training now in a minute, in a couple of hours' time. So just training, mate, ticking over, and just waiting for the date to come.
What's your favourite Christmas film?
Ooh, on the spot. Favourite Christmas film? Jack Frost.
Yeah, oh, nice. Yeah,
That's a bit. No one really mentions that one, do they?
no, they don't. They don't. I think Elf gets a lot of
Yeah,
votes.
Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Well, listen, Nathan, enjoy training. Look
you.
forward to seeing you back out again
Cheers,
soon.
Chris. Thanks, brother.